Hello, this is Leslie Jean-Pierre, and welcome once again to Little Black Village, and thank you for visiting our channel. In the next few clips, is a series of individuals who have traveled and worked and volunteered overseas, and we're going to be talking to them, listening to them, and about their experiences, and hopefully some of our youth are inspired from their experiences. So our first one will be Julius E. who works at Morehouse and is the director of the Andrew Young Center. So hopefully you enjoy his story and his experience, and hopefully you get something out of it. And we'll follow some individuals after him. In the meantime, do not forget to subscribe, like, and revisit. Thank you.
This tune's called Bamako City.
Hello, my name is Julius E, and I am the director of the Andrew Young Center for International Affairs in the Office of Global Education here at Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia. It's a pleasure to be with you today to tell you a little bit about my life and experiences working in the global community. I first had an opportunity to travel overseas when I was a sophomore here at Morehouse College. And from that experience of traveling to Africa as a part of Crossroads Africa, I learned what it was all about to work in community service program in Africa. Crossroads Africa was an organization that was established in the 1950s to promote friendship between African and American students. And so we were given the opportunity to build a one-room schoolhouse in the village in Senegal in 1961. Now that may sound for most of you to be a long time ago, but it still has a very vivid memory for me because it was my first opportunity to travel abroad and to begin to understand what the world is all about. So I'm very strong on those kinds of opportunities being made available to African American students. I encourage all of you to participate in community service projects, not only abroad, but here in the United States. We must begin to give back to others who are less fortunate than we are. You can work in community service projects in your city, through your church, through the Boy Scouts, or through other organizations. And I hope that many of you will consider international service opportunities that are now being offered to high school students as well as college students abroad. These experiences, I'm sure, will contribute to your development and lead to what I would think would be a wonderful career and also an opportunity to study at some of the greatest institutions in this country. Not only is it important to participate in service opportunities abroad, but it's also important that you study hard and prepare yourself to go to college in the United States. Today, a high school diploma is not worth very much and will not take you very far. And I'm sad to say that even a BA degree these days won't take you farther either. For what used to be a high school diploma used to give you a good job, today the only way you can get a good job is with a college education. And not only is a college education necessary, but you need to go to grad school. So you have to prepare yourself for those who want to be successful in their professional careers, not only to go to college, but to go to grad school. All this to be said that community service, studying hard, good preparations in life, I can assure you If you really want to be successful in life, you can be that successful person. You just have to apply yourself, work hard, study hard, and get prepared. I'm very hopeful that many of you will give serious consideration to coming to a historically black college and university in this country. I think these institutions really do quite a lot to help you to become very confident and able to compete. I came out of segregated schools here in the city of Atlanta. I came from Washington High School to Morehouse College, and I want to tell you that Morehouse prepared me to be able to go on to one of the greatest graduate schools in this country, Princeton University. Not only has Morehouse prepared me, but it has prepared other successful graduates, including Martin Luther King, Julius E, Spike Lee, and many, many others, to be very successful in their careers and having been graduates of an HBCU like Morehouse. So I really want to encourage you to look very carefully at a HBCU. Not that HBCU is for everyone, but I think you ought to look at it because I think it's a wonderful environment. It's a brotherhood, and it's a wonderful brotherhood that I've enjoyed a great deal. Now I would like to share with you some of my experiences. I talked to you earlier about traveling in Africa when I was a student and working in a village called Popenguine in Senegal. Not only did I stay in that village, but I traveled all over Senegal and went into Mali. And Mali was really fascinating. Senegal is a very highly developed, very modern country. It was the former capital of French West Africa. The city of Dakar is one of the most beautiful cities in the world, and it could rival any city in the United States. It's built on the coast, very, very attractive. And then there's a sort of the desert area in the Sahel in the north going towards St. Louis. And then down in the south in a place called Ziguinchor, heavy vegetation, but some of the most beautiful seaside resorts that you will see anywhere in the world. Going into Mali, that was quite something. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about Timbuktu. Well, Timbuktu does exist. It is a northern intellectual and cultural center in northern Mali, not too far from Algeria, and it's one of the oldest universities in the whole world. Was established at Timbuktu. It was a Quranic school, and they have a university there that was going back into the 14th or 13th century. Most people don't realize that. But what a wonderful institution. Where other cities that we went to were Mopti, Bandia, Gara, and another very historical place called the Pays de Dogon. This is an ancient African civilization that's built on the side of a mountain. What a picturesque place. That was more than 50 years ago since I was there, but I will never forget these sort of homes and dwellings that were built off the side of the mountain. And this is a place that's known for its art, its doors, its sculptures. It's a wonderful city. So not only is there Timbuktu in Mali, but there's also the Pays de Dogon. I had the pleasure also of visiting my daughter who was in the Peace Corps. She was located in a village about 10 hours from Lomé and 10 hours from Ouagadougou. So that'll give you some idea. She was really quite isolated. But what a wonderful experience she had living in a village and helping them to carry out their health programs. it took me 10 hours of riding in bush taxis and buses to travel from Ouagadougou to Melonville, and my daughter didn't think that I could do it, but she didn't realize that I had traveled extensively in Africa in many different ways, comfortably sometimes and not so comfortably otherwise. But even beyond Africa, I've had the wonderful experience of traveling and working all over the world. When I was at Morehouse as a junior, I was given the opportunity to be a Merrill Scholar. A person gave me $3,000 in 1962 to go out and leave the United States and go around the world or go anywhere I wanted to go. So I decided that I would go and study in Europe at the University of Geneva in Switzerland. And during that year, I traveled from Moscow, which was then the Soviet Union, to Lisbon, Portugal, and then to northern Finland, to Greece and North Africa, mainly hitchhiking all over Europe in that time. That's over about, I don't know, maybe close to, I would say close to 20,000 miles of hitchhiking in a year, and going by trains and so forth. But I had that sort of attitude that I was going to see Europe and see it on the ground, and I did see it on the ground. If you can imagine hitchhiking all of that way from all those different places. When I say from those points, that would mean that I went from France to Belgium to Holland to Denmark to Sweden to Finland to Russia to Czechoslovakia to East Germany and back to France, and then from France to England to Scotland to Ireland to Spain to Portugal to Morocco to Algeria to Austria to Yugoslavia to Greece and Italy, all within an 8-month period of travel. And I encourage all of you to be gypsies, to go out and see the world. You probably couldn't hitchhike like that anymore these days, but you could go by train, and there are cheap ways of doing that on the Ural Pass that take you all over Europe. But you should go to Asia, you should go to Africa. There are wonderful places in the world to see. Latin America. My appetite for travel has never ceased. And I've spent a lot of time in Latin America, traveling in Brazil, traveling in Argentina, traveling in Central America. I feel like I'm a gypsy, but I really like to refer to myself as a citoyen du monde, as they say in French, or a citizen of the world. And that's what I want you to be, a citizen of the world.